Okay.
Alright.
So, do you want me to try and do the intro?
You are doing the intro. You better do a good
Do
job.
or do not, there is no try.
Right.
Explain to everybody what the fuck you've just done to this podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're through to Anime Abroad. We apologise for some sort of inconvenience that we may have...
No, you apologise.
You fucking apologise.
Okay, what happened was we were in the middle of recording Rape of the Year 2015 when my laptop...
You laugh, but it's true.
My laptop decided to go, you know what, fuck this show, fuck my life, and died on me. And I lost my copy of the audio files. So you might be getting an Anime Abroad abridged with me redubbing my own audio, but yeah.
So instead of getting episode 23 of Anime Abroad, you're getting episode 17 of Reanimate now because of what this cunt's just done.
Yeah. Instead of getting our seasonal AniChart video, you're getting a much shorter and much saltier video where Tim's going to get shat on like a toilet.
This time I've got a backup running just in case. I should have had it running in the first place, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Who knew? It's entirely my fault then.
Of course it is. Who else's fault could it be, Tim?
I don't know, the one that didn't run the backup as well.
Oh, so it's my fault just because I didn't run a backup. I mean, you should get a better fucking laptop. You fucking stay out of this.
I mean, technically,
we're adding another
Tim didn't
thing.
choose for his laptop to crash, but David did choose not to run the backup.
Level he did.
All right, okay.
Anyway,
I'm definitely not a Tim apologist, so I think we should move on.
Warning for bad language and spoilers now.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Reanimate. You're here with David, the prick himself, Tim. Fuck that guy. You're here with Cassie.
Hey, so happy to still be here.
Should we mention at the moment, though, that Dave, you are the subtitled Shitsalot?
Oh, are we going to talk about that now? Sure, go ahead.
I mean, technically he hasn't shit at all since...
I know! Considering before when we got the quiet cry from another room, the tablets haven't worked! His ass is actually holding together.
They are now working now, ladies and gentlemen. You'd be happy to know I am no longer
the tablets are working, ladies and gentlemen. Dave's plugged the hole. The breach has been sealed. Aaron sealed the hole with his Titan power.
Alright then, so I don't even know where to begin.
So we're just going to shoot the shit this time, right?
Yep, shoot the shit.
I mean, I guess we should reintroduce the fact that we've been dead.
Yep.
Several years.
For many years.
Do we remember the name of that user?
Again. Yeah.
It's been 2 months. I'm pretty sure they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get the exact quote. Just give me a minute. I'm getting messages off my mum now saying, "Are you finished yet?" Okay,
like,
so
well,
YouTube's a subscriber of ours, a YouTuber called 0xide00. I read this comment about 2 minutes. So, well, actually, no, it was just as we were about to record. And it said, almost 2 months now. I think they're actually dead. Well, we're not.
6 months
later. We
almost
were, thanks to Tim.
Yeah, so we talked, before we went into the seasonal anime discussion, we did talk about a few bits and bobs, which I guess we'll go over. So we apologise if this discussion is not as heated and as lively.
I can talk about Shinamatia again if you want. I can go back over a world without dirty jokes.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can start with that. Let's go.
So back to the original topic of Rape of the Year 2015. This was, I think it was back in summer or spring, and what happened is Japan is basically outlaws anything dirty whatsoever. So they strap wristbands on you so you can it tracks your movements of your hands, so you can't even draw dirty images. To the point where one of the girls, they actually starts drawing with her mouth, which is rather funny. Just seeing this midget with a pencil in her mouth going. She regularly hides in the main character's cupboard, hoping that he's going to be raped, so she can draw what they call body melding, because they don't have a word for sex.
It sounds like you were saying they've got like collars and wristbands on, right? it really sounds like the Japanese have completed George Orwell's vision, doesn't it? Like this is what George Orwell was trying to tell us about in 1984, I think.
Yeah, it's basically like, it starts off with they had like, instead of having mobile phones, they upgraded to have these wristbands that are like phones and internet and stuff like that, and then the government just started slowly putting porn blockers on everything. And blew up stores that had like dirty video games and anime models and stuff like that. And it's basically about a group of Ero terrorists trying to spread dirty jokes.
Yeah.
And it's main characters, when they're in their Ero terrorist form, have panties over the front of their face. The main character wears stockings and suspenders, like with a garter belt. It's rather funny. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, you gave it your 3 hours, didn't you?
Yeah, well, first rate was about 8. Just because I did laugh on every single episode. It was rather good fun, but only a true 10 for me is something that involves giant robots, and there was no robots in it anywhere, I'm afraid. Recommend, I'd definitely recommend it. What was the last one?
Recommend, rewatch.
Oh yeah, rewatch, yeah, but not for a few months.
Yeah.
I've got to let myself calm down a bit.
What else did we talk about? We just kind of went through some of the stuff we'd been watching, because obviously...
We didn't talk about a whole lot because we wanted to get into the Annie chart. We knew that would take a while.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to talk about more than we were originally planning to.
We gabbed a little bit how me and you were both stoked for Berserk coming out.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, they just announced that the studio that's been making the Berserk movies over the last couple of years is actually going to start producing a serialized anime show taking place after the end of the movies, which is actually Berserk content that's actually never been done in anime form yet. So that's really exciting. Like, the furthest any anime's got is the end of the Golden Age arc. So yeah, so this is all new territory for Berserk anime.
Which is going to be Tom's rape of 2015.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going by rape of the decade, I think Berserk probably wins that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going for most rape, like quantity, Berserk also probably wins that as well. So
it pretty much, in terms of rape, it is pretty much the Song of Fire and Ice of anime.
There is more rape in Berserk than there is in Game of Thrones. Easily. Yeah.
TV and book combined, because there is a lot less in the books than there is in the TV.
Yeah, no, Berserk is brutal. It's also one of the greatest manga series ever made, so the fact that we're getting more Berserk is super cool.
Just proves how good it is, though, because from what I've been recently, I've been getting into the Souls and the Bloodborne series, like from Software.
Oh yeah, big inspiration.
Yeah, you can tell there's quite a lot of the bad guys in there that are taken directly from Berserk.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Bloodborne is definitely more Lovecraftian. Yeah, but Dark Souls specifically has a lot of Berserk references.
Yeah, well, like, the skeletons attached to the wheels, for one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, no, yeah, I would say probably. I mean, that was the way of torturing people in medieval times. That's where Berserk got it from.
You attach them to a wheel, break their legs and roll them away.
You break their legs to weave them into the wheel. Like, break their limbs to weave them into the wheel and then strap them to the wheel.
Yeah.
So yeah. God, man, I actually might reread Berserk.
Other little bits and pieces that we've watched that weren't released this year properly that we might have watched. I always mention I've got the stack of DVDs next to the telly that is still to be watched, but I'm halfway through watching half of them.
I'm just going to mention, because when he left, I assumed he would be back and would just keep talking. But Dave's been gone for a decent amount of time now.
Yeah,
He's just left.
It was as I started talking about Shinameti, we got a message over Skype saying, "Speaking of those pills."
Oh, I didn't see the messages.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okie doke. Okay,
it was that point me and you were talking about before we first started recording. Like, wouldn't it be funny if he suddenly disappeared halfway through the podcast?
How you doing, Dave? Brilliant. Moving on.
Have you ever emptied an old radiator before?
Yes.
I'll leave it at that.
Oh dear. So what you're saying? Saying is you were bleeding.
I thought God damn it, Tom! I don't know. I thought I'd brought us down into the gutter with rape 2015. Then Dave somehow brought us further, and now you just curb stomped us into the floor.
Dave literally just said he was bleeding his asshole. So
I don't know what deity I have offended, but I do not deserve this.
I apologise.
This is out of order.
What a day.
Alright, so we just talked about Berserk again. I mean, I know you're definitely interested in Berserk.
Yeah, very, very much interested in watching that show when it comes out. But of course, I've got to watch the movies first, which actually reminds me, I need to look those up now. I don't know why I mentioned that. Carry on.
Other shit that I've watched recently then. I managed to get through Seven Deadly Sins, which, being a massive shonen fan, I loved the living shit out of.
Now it's on Netflix. I'm actually planning on picking that back up.
That was like...
Is that the one with the... didn't Sawano do the music for that one?
Yeah, he did. Didn't I link you the scene of the dude throwing the spear?
Did, yeah.
And then the little dude catching the spear, throwing the spear back.
I think you were the one that sort of sent me that scene like months and
when
months
it was airing.
ago.
I sent that when it was airing because that was during my phase of watching absolutely like at least 1 or 2 episodes of absolutely everything, and I just kind of picked it up. And yeah, that was a fucking cool shonen scene.
That there are better ones later on, like honest to God.
I'm sure. But it was just really the scene was kind of goofy and OP, but the music just kind of like transformed it into
that
something.
Is literally how you describe that series. It's OP as fuck, but beautiful music.
Yeah.
So in terms of the music, like where does this rank on the Sawano scale? Are we thinking like Attack on Titan?
I mean,
yeah,
no.
For me, for the rest of the series, it's probably just below Attack on Titan.
Just below Attack on Titan?
Like towards the end as well.
Okay, I mean, I haven't heard everything on that soundtrack. I wouldn't have placed it above Old Note Zero. Like, to me, like, Sawano's chart, Attack on Titan is, like, head and shoulders above everything. Because that soundtrack is so complete in a way that a lot of his other works aren't.
See, I'm comparing this in a combination, though, with the openings and endings as well.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, like, a lot of the time, because Sawano's, like... you can go through the last couple of years, you can go through each anime season and link up the anime that Sawano's on, and they're back to back to back. Like, he's constantly got work. So we've been hearing a lot of him lately, and while he's definitely kept the magic, he's spreading it out a lot thinner. So you're usually getting like 1, maybe 2 goddamn beautiful tracks per anime rather than Attack on Titan, which had, like almost every single one of them was gold. Yeah.
Literally, I can still sit there in the shower, just nothing on, and sing Reluctant Heroes to my heart's content. Because that is my favourite song by far off of that soundtrack.
Yeah. First you screw our podcast up and you put that fucking image in my head. Thanks, Tim.
Put me in the shower just going, well, you're Reluctant Heroes.
And you've just somehow made it worse. Well done.
Yep.
Oh, please.
Okay.
You with the shits and Tom saying you're bleeding from your arse hasn't made this worse.
Oh, good.
All we need now is for Cassie to like projectile vomit across the screen. And I'm pretty sure this reanimate would be complete.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Nate to pop in and be like, hi, motherfuckers, what's going on? So,
Guys, is there a podcast right now?
So yeah, Sawano soundtracks, Seven Deadly Sins. Yeah, it's good. Like I mean, I wouldn't say it's above Guilty Crown or Old Note Zero. Like those are the 2 right behind Attack on Titan as far as the things I've seen.
Each to their own. That's all I like to say.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent point.
What would you give Seven Deadly Sins? Give it the 3 R's for us.
Oh, see, as a massive shonen fan, I'd probably give it about a 9, just because from what I've seen and heard about from the manga as well, from what follows onto it, it's really made me want to go out there and collect the manga.
Yeah.
So does your rating scale start at 7 and end at 10?
Hello, IGN.
No. No, because to be honest with you, the first season of Noragami, it's quite an unpopular opinion, but I only rate that about a 5.
I remember watching the first 2 episodes of it. It wasn't.
I mean, from what I've seen of it, I wouldn't give it more than a 7, so I could see that. I haven't finished it, but...
Log Horizon Season 2, as much as I love the living shit out of that series, I'd say that was probably about a 5 or a 6. Just because...
That's generous. That is fucking generous.
No, just because it starts with all the hype from the end of Season 1, and then slowly just starts to tumble downhill.
It's not even slow. It just fucking sucks.
No. It slowly starts to tumble, and then like Akatsuki and Shiro get the shit done and over with, and then they send the kids off, and they just sort of kick them off the edge of a cliff.
I I'm so
It's just
mentioning
like
Log Horizon upsets me.
it's like
I'm so upset about that.
I am absolutely with Cassie on this one. Like, that show does not deserve anything higher than a 3. I think I gave her a 3.5.
I'm trying to think of what
I was so drastically disappointed
Yeah,
with that.
like-
So disappointed.
I'm trying to think of what in recent years I'd like looking back on now I'd rate lower than a 5 though.
Well, that's the thing. You usually drop series that you don't like, so
Well,
it's only things like
when
I've got loads.
I was younger though, when I was just watching whatever I could get my hands on, I used to just like literally marathon a series a day.
yeah.
So the likes of Shuffle, I'd probably only give about a 3 or 4.
Oh, I like Shuffle. He did
Like-
end up with the best girl.
Yeah.
Here's something I'm quite curious about. I don't know if you guys have got my AniList accounts or anything like that, or AniList or anything like that, but I'm kind of curious, what's the lowest rated show you've completed?
Heaven's Memo
Tagano
Pad.
no Chi.
Oh, I didn't finish that.
Infinite Stratos Season 2 for me.
Oh, I mean, yeah, season 1 of Infinite Stratos. I mean, I finished that, so
It's complete nutter garbage, I know, but
somehow I've managed to finish High School DxD season 1.
Oh, wow.
That's a mystery. God knows what drove me to watch all of that.
Didn't Ravi rate that show? I thought he liked that show.
I love it to
Nate
bits.
does.
I've got it on fucking Blu-ray.
I mean,
that doesn't
let's be
show.
honest, Tim, you would. I mean, anyone that's
Yeah.
starting to understand how Tim works
Let's be fair. When a group of
understands why you like that show.
when a group of my mates said they were going to probably cosplay from it, the first thing they all said was I should probably do the Trap from season 2.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm thinking of one show I'd probably only rate around about 3 or 4 for me would probably be the remastered, like air commas here, remastered Negima. I really like it, but at the same point, it's a load of fucking garbage compared to the original.
So the lowest rated show you've ever rated is that you've completed is a 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I've got
I'd go lower
1s
than
and
that.
2s. I've got
I
that
would
Infinite
give some
Stratos
ones.
OVA.
Oh, I probably rate Oriimo as a 1 just to spite it because
Actually, no. Speaking of that, actually, what the fuck's it called? The one where the guy gets transported to the whale, then it's an army of cat people versus army of dog people.
Fuck.
it's not like the episode of Space Dandy.
I am really upset. I know of this thing's existence now.
No, it's like instead of having full on wars, they basically just do Takeshi's Castle against each other. And instead of dying,
mean,
they just
that sounds funny.
instead of dying, they just turn into like little cat heads and dog heads.
That sounds funny, but I can actually imagine that in the context of an awful anime.
Oh, I need to find out. I think
And,
it's called,
like,
I think
it
it's
being
Dog
just
Days.
awful.
Is it Dog Days?
Yeah, I've heard of Dog Days.
Like
Doesn't that have a lot of seasons?
It's got like
It's
2 or
definitely
3
got season
seasons.
2.
But I finished season 1. I was just like, no, can't.
I thought that was like
carry
last year.
on
It was
with-
like season 3 or 4 or something.
Let's have a look. Dog
I can't
Days.
remember.
Dog Days.
See, I'm looking at my list now. I only have 2 shows that are a 1. It's IS season 2, that Infinite Stratos OVA, and I've got The Sacred Blacksmith. I gave that a 2, and then a couple of Pokemon movies. Did you see that Victini? Is it Victini?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Victini. The one with Victini in it. That movie is fucking garbage.
Which one, black or white?
They are both exactly the
I know.
same movie.
All
Why
they,
you
do,
still
all,
watching
all,
the same
they,
movie?
all they do is replace all the scenes and audio with Reshiram with Zekrom, and that is it. Because I got the 2 of them as a present one Christmas, and the most exciting thing about it was you got a limited edition Pikachu card in it.
I honestly don't get where the inspiration came for that. It's like, why make one movie when we can make 2 that are exactly the same?
What do you mean you don't understand where the inspiration of Pokemon making the same product exactly the same?
Yeah.
Money.
No, I mean, we can start at the beginning and go Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and then we could start at the next one where they go Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver. They've been doing that since the start. They put the
And
same
then they bring
product out
Crystal and
twice.
fucking Yellow.
There's red, blue, green, and yellow, and then there's let's remake them: fire red, leaf green.
Yep.
Then there's gold, silver. Oh wait, heart, gold,
Crystal.
soul, silver. Oh yeah,
So yeah,
crystal as
Dave,
well.
I don't know where they got that idea from.
I just why
But the
don't
fact that they
keep
did it with
getting
a
away
movie when
with
there's
it?
like absolutely like no point.
The better one when you can tell they weren't even fucking trying, and they just did it straight after it. It was black, white, and platinum, and then they went black 2, white 2.
No, Platinum was with Diamond and Pearl.
Shut up, Dave.
But Platinum's a metal and Diamond and Pearl's are gemstones.
Were a really good retake on those games. That's what Black and White should have been. Because Black 2 and White 2 were really fucking good games.
I never finished those.
The last one I seriously took a whack at was... What? Shut up, you. Was Y, and I did actually really like the way it was sort of more of a story-based game.
So, I'm kind of like the Pokemon normie here. You guys are way into Pokemon.
Yeah.
I have been playing a bit of Pokemon X, and that Pokemon game ain't bad.
I was the kid in school that discovered Pokemon. I was that level of weeb. Like, I was in year 3. It must have been. It was about 6 or 7 because I was the one. I was one of the few kids in school that had cable back then, so it was like Sky One sitting there watching Pokemon when it first aired.
I remember those days.
So
rushing back home to watch.
Now look at me.
Go on.
Rushing back home to watch fucking Card Captor Sakura on ITV.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there, mate. Mate, there was one time when the VCR didn't record. What was it? TV Plus or something where you could like program in the recording.
Oh, did anyone watch like Flint the Time Detective?
I've never heard of that.
No.
Oh, it's a really good one. It was back when Fox Kids was still around.
I didn't have Sky. I didn't have Sky
channel.
Oh, it was so good. It was on like it must have been Fox Kids or Cartoon Network at stupid o'clock in the morning. And I used to sit up and watch it because it was back when my mum first started letting me like not have a bedtime. And I'd just be sitting there like gripped onto a pillow with like 3 cups of coffee around me, just jittering while I was watching this.
How old were you when this happened?
6.
13. No, it was about 11.
I mean, that's not good.
I still had a bedtime when I was 11.
So, back to anime, maybe?
Yeah, let's go back onto the hardcore shit. What were we talking
I'd like
about?
to talk, like, Tim's had a few. I'd like
things we had ranked at like the lowest ranks that we've finished.
I'd like to talk about an anime I've watched.
Tom, the floor is yours.
Holy shit, you watched an anime?
Yeah, I watched a lot of an anime. I watched all of Hunter x Hunter. Since the last time we recorded, and while that sounds impressive, it has been 8 months, so I didn't manage to...
But to be fair though, Tom, it is pretty impressive, like, the amount of Hunter x Hunter there is.
It's not on the same level as, like, one of your big 3, or, well, even Fairy Tail, you know? But there's, I think, like, 150 odd episodes. And I don't have, like, I don't have that in me anymore to watch a show, for, like, continuously like that, unless it's super good. So, yeah, I mean... Hunter x Hunter's been around since I kind of got serious with anime, and it's just been one of those things I kept putting off, but I kept hearing that it's one of the best anime ever made, and it is one of the best anime ever made. Like, there's not much more to say about it than that. It is so good. Technically, you would call it a shonen battle, but it outclasses the other anime in that genre so much that it's almost not fair to call it one of those. It is more of a seinen. It's like 150 around that ballpark.
Oh, right. That's
it's not too bad now.
Personally, I think the only sad thing about it is that it's going to end soon because the mangaka's dying of cancer. That's why the manga's pretty much grinded.
Are you sure? That sounds like rumour.
The manga has pretty much grinded to a halt.
I know that, but what I mean is, like, all we know is vague health concerns stuff.
I been serious.
Yeah, I would check your sources on that, because as far as I know, we don't know what's wrong with him.
Well, it's the reason why the last couple of story arcs have been really, really rushed in the manga.
But yeah, like I say, the manga definitely has ground to a halt, similar to Berserk, although Berserk is actually picking up again. And yeah, all I heard was health concerns, and I finished Hunter x Hunter like a month or 2 ago, so I'm pretty up to date on the situation there. So unless something's just broke and I haven't heard about it, then yeah, we don't know what's wrong with him. But yeah, one thing that's really important to say about Hunter x Hunter is it's a long-form shonen series with no filler or pointless extensions of any kind. Like, you know how Naruto and Bleach and that lot used to drag out their episodes as much as possible? You'd have 2 minutes of intro, like, you'd have the OP, then you'd have about 2 minutes of recap from the last episode, and then you'd have your ED, and then you'd have, like, 2 minutes of preview for the next episode. And, like, the 12 minutes of episode you got was stretched out so that, like, nothing happened in it. You don't get any of that. Hunter x Hunter is extremely quickly paced. Even, like, the last arc, which is almost as long as half of the series, so it's a huge arc, that moves at a pretty decent clip compared to most battle shonen. you would equate that arc to something like a Rescue Orihime kind of thing, where it's like the same kind of scope, but they actually tell it at the proper pace and don't stretch it out over 4 years. Yeah, no, that is one of the best anime I've ever watched. I would say watch it, but I mean, I imagine you've all been hearing that for forever, because Hunter x Hunter is like one of those things where anytime you ever hear it mentioned, it's just praised ridiculously much. So
yeah, well, it's one of the few long-running series that managed to work its way onto Netflix before anything else.
Yeah, so I watched it on Netflix, and it actually isn't all on Netflix. I actually had to catch the last, I'd say maybe a quarter to a fifth of the series on Crunchyroll.
My only issue with Crunchyroll is I've noticed the first couple of episodes, because I watched the first 3 episodes on Netflix first, then decided to try and watch them on Crunchyroll, because it was when Kirsty first got her account. Yeah. And it's actually edited on Crunchyroll. There's certain scenes that are missing.
It feels heavily edited anyway, honestly. There's a lot of scenes that are extremely violent in the first couple of episodes.
So you best not trying to search for fan subs, really.
Right, okay. Okay, right. In terms of content, it kind of skimps a lot on the blood and the violence and the violent themes early on, but then kind of just ditches that and goes straight into it later on in the series. So
I don't even know about that though, Tom. Do you know the first episode when I've forgotten his name, the one that wants to become a doctor?
Leorio.
Yeah, Leorio is talking about how the reason why he wants to get more money to begin with. He's talking about wants to get a big mansion, get a car, get loads of alcohol.
And loads of women.
Yeah, they cut that from Crunchyroll. Literally. It's, I want to get loads of money, and the next thing you see is like, because it was only a day apart from me watching those first 2 episodes together, I knew exactly that the scene had been cut out, and I was just like, why?
Oh, that's odd.
Why Crunchyroll? Why? I expected Netflix to do that, but not Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's why it's weird.
I've not heard of that, but yeah, that would be really odd. Yeah, so it is a bit tame, or they try and over-tame it early on. I mean, the early arcs were very light-hearted compared to the later arcs. But there's a scene straight up, one of Killua's first fight scenes, where he just straight up rips out a dude's heart.
That's my favourite scene from what I've seen so far. Because
at the start, Killua is miles ahead of the rest of the cast in terms of strength. And they're kind of hyping up this dude as part of the arc who's super strong. He's murdered a bunch of people, and Killua ends the fight in a second. He just plucks the dude's heart out of his chest. But in the anime, in the manga, I was because in the anime, he's holding it in a weird little sack, and there's no blood, and the sack's just beaten. And I'm that does not look right. So I checked the manga, and no, the manga, he's got the stupid fucking heart in his hand. So I was yeah, they're kind of censoring this a bit.
I was going to say, it feels like how they used to censor Pokemon back in the days of 4Kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think more relevantly, One Piece.
Oh yeah, these rifles, no, they're water guns.
Cigarettes became lollipops and blood became nothing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wasn't there that one admiral with the smoke powers, and in the English 4Kids one, he just had smoke coming out of his mouth, whereas in the Japanese when he chain smoked 3 cigars at once?
Yeah. No, so I really could talk about Hunter x Hunter for a long time, but I'm the only one that's seen it, and there really isn't much point spoiling it. It's just an unconditional watch for everyone. It really is. To give it my 3 Rs, it's ticks across the board. It's 10 out of 10. I'd recommend it to everyone. And if I had time, I might rewatch it someday. The only thing that might stop me rewatching it at some point is the fact that it is very long. I might actually if I was to rewatch it, I might skip the longest arc at the end, because that isn't as good as the first couple of arcs. It definitely, the payoff for that arc is heartbreaking and incredible, and goes places that no shonen anime has gone and probably ever will go again. So it's definitely worth finishing, but it's a lot slower.
That's not fair to say. I cried when Goku died all 5 times.
Yeah, so...
But what about Yamcha?
I'm used to that.
Yeah, so those are the 3 Rs for Hunter x Hunter. It really is just a question of time. Yeah. And I understand getting into a show like that is daunting, because it really is a leap. But yeah, if you can, get into it. Over anything else, that should be one of your top priorities to watch as an anime fan. Okay, so David has gone to the little boys' room again, I imagine. So Cassie, is there anything you've watched since the break that you'd like to talk about?
Not that I'd like to talk about.
In a good way or in a bad way? Because if it's in a bad way, that's kind of half
The only
fun.
thing I watched was Diabolic Lovers Season 2 as a joke.
Did you watch all of it?
Yeah. Me and
How
friends
does
sat down
it
and watched all
hold
of
up? How does it hold up to the stellar standards that the first one set?
I will tell you what, it was actually a bit better.
Better in like an actual sense of...
Yeah, the characters were actually better.
So it wasn't better in the way you want it to be better, which is worse.
I don't think there's anything I ever expect from it. Although it when it started off, it introduced these two characters and you assume they're going to do something big because I can't remember what they say, I don't fucking care. And then at the end, it's man, there's only one episode left and they're 7-minute episodes. They're going to put a lot in here and they just didn't. They just ended it. It was just, there was nothing. There was no
set
climax.
up for season 3. Cashing in that Diabolic Lovers money, you need to set up the season 3.
Oh, man.
I really need to know, though, how many times does that girl get her face licked?
I don't know.
Would you say more or less in the first season?
I don't remember her getting her face licked at all, to be honest.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear, Cassie.
Wait, how much of it did you watch, Tom? Did you watch all of it?
I watched 2 episodes.
Okay.
It really was good. I have been saying for a while that is the show. If we were going to live react to a show,
Yeah.
that is the show we need to do it to.
It is just hilarious and fun to watch.
It is a spectacle. It is unbelievable.
And then we follow up straight with Boku no Pico.
Well, I don't know what we can get away with on YouTube, but it's definitely worth a shot.
But across the table then, I guess it's David's turn.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to apologise for my lack of inclusion. There's a lot of shit going on in this house right now, and I don't mean that.
Phrasing.
Pun unintended. To be honest with you, I've not really watched anything worth of notes. I watched Suisei no Gargantia. I thought that was okay.
Is that the one that Nate likes?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate really does like that because there's a belly dancing scene in it, and go figure. So, yeah, I watched that. It was okay. It got really boring in the middle. Giant robots fighting each other at the end. That's pretty cool. It's also possibly a spoiler, so my bad. Yeah, giant robots fighting each other. I'm cool with that. My brain switches off when that kind of shit happens. I watched that Bone show. I can't remember the full title of it, but it's called Sakurako-san.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that.
Man.
What a show.
I think that is quite possibly the most boring show I have ever finished.
It's definitely the most anime show I've seen this year, I think. So,
Meaning?
Well, she picks up the bone, she basically, tongues it, licks it, sniffs it, rubs it on her face.
Yeah.
And then she the gourmet dude in the Tokyo Ghoul?
Can I just ask, are we talking about an actual, arm bone? An actual
she's holding
physical...
a skull. In the first...
Right,
I saw
okay.
the actual human skull.
Okay, because you're just saying she picks up a bone and starts licking it and proper tongues it. I'm just right, is this an actual show or are you guys watching hentai again?
It is very, very strange. The premise of the show is basically this girl, Sakurako-san. She is an osteologist, so she puts together skeletons and what have you, and then actually steams the meat off of the carcass of an animal and then puts the skeleton back together. And she is fucking obsessed with bones, and it's really, really strange. I've seen some people have strange obsessions in animes before, that this one is probably the weirdest, I'd say. And basically what happens after that is she and her friend slash servant slash... I don't know if this guy's in love with her or not, but there's a reason. As the show progresses, you do kind of get the impression that he is kind of in love with her, even though she has a fiancé. And then the show basically follows the... it's kind of like Death Parade. They try and solve one mystery per episode, but sometimes a mystery will go from 1 to 2 episodes, and it's
David,
just so dull.
I usually don't like cutting people off, but I think saying it's kind of like Death Parade... I think you're looking in the wrong place.
No.
Please. When in terms of a mystery per episode, this show is closer to Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It is absolutely more like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
The only reason why I was comparing it to Death Parade, it was kind of like trying to solve one story or conclude one story in one episode.
I get you.
Death Parade did.
Yeah. No, it's just so bad. The writer,
really
whoever wrote that thing, just gave up. The dude who follows her around never gives a reason. He's for some reason, I just keep following her around. And for some reason, murders keep happening.
It's true. Quite literally,
That is
everywhere
what
they
they
go,
say.
they always find a dead body.
No, but that's what they say in the first episode. The dude's like, oh, and the weirdest part of it is, wherever we go, there's a murder. Like, what the fuck? This writer doesn't give a shit.
At that point of view, the dude should be like, I'm not fucking coming with you anymore. There's murder everywhere you go.
Like, the writer is basically saying, look, I'm tired. Just whatever. Just give me a break. There's a murder.
He's like,
who cares?
He's letting
She's
the
weird
intern
with
fucking take care of it.
bones. That's the thing. Don't question me.
He just might have had an obsession with, like Scottish detectives. Just wanted to make his own version of Taggart.
That it is not.
Just a little anime girl runs in out of nowhere. Taggart-san, there's been a murder.
Can you imagine though if like episode 1 of Taggart's just like walking around saying, it's the weirdest thing. Wherever I go, murders happen. Like...
Like in Midsummer Murders, they've got to click on at some point. Fucking hell, how the fuck is this town still going if someone's getting murdered at least once a week?
Yeah.
I know. You'd think the place would be depopulated by now. I mean, in fairness to Sakurako-san, the animation's great. There is actually a kind of transformation scene. I don't know if you've seen this, Tom.
Is this where, like, I was trying to say, where she, like, picks up the bone, gets really freaky with it?
No.
And then,
It's
like,
when she...
like goes into, like, a psychedelic, I am the Queen of Bones kind of weird shit, like the gourmet dude in Tokyo Ghoul does, where he just gets super weird about stuff.
So
she kind of does that with bones.
She puts on a plastic, like a surgical glove, puts it on, and it snaps back, and then she puts her hair back, and the hair's flying in the wind. And there's like, it's like proper psychedelic, as Tom said then. There's bones of animals going past. There's like blue whales and elephants and shit. And she goes, let's solve the mystery. And then it goes like, snap right back into the episode. You're like,
I know.
First time I watched that, I was like, what was the...
Oh, I saw that, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
What was it for?
That was I think that was the loudest I laughed. I just fucked that shit so hard. Like at the end of the episode, I was just like, nah.
I was
I
interested enough to carry on watching it. The second mystery that involved, basically they found a little girl walking around outside on her own, and then they were trying to find out who her parents were. They found out who her mum was, and then there was a murder involved. And at the end of that episode, it got very, very intense. And I thought, okay, this is interesting enough. I'll carry on watching it. We'll see if anything develops on it. But it doesn't. It just goes down the same route. It just goes down the same route every time. We found the skeleton. Let's try and figure out why this person died, when they died, how it happened. And then by the end of it, we'll go and eat cake. It's dumb. It's really dumb.
From the pictures I've just like quickly found on Google, I am getting a very Sherlock vibe from it.
That's what...
It thinks it's Sherlock. It's trying so hard to be Sherlock and...
if the writer of that anime was in the room... He would have just gone, really? You think so? Oh, that's what I was trying to do. Like, It is so desperately trying to be Sherlock that it's just pathetic. It's so cringy to watch it.
So it tries to be elementary and comes off as the Sherlock New Year special.
It comes off closer as a Star Wars Christmas special, mate. It's a fucking joke. That anime is terrible on so many levels.
It really, really is.
This is the first I've ever heard of it.
At the end of it, again, potential spoiler, so if for some weird fucking reason you want to watch the show, please take the headphones out now, mute us for 5 minutes, but at the end of the show, it turns out that there's actually, that all of the cases that they've been working on, which were all seemingly random, are connected in a certain way. It's all connected to a serial killer, and it turns out Sakurako's uncle was a detective working on this case. And then... I don't know, by the end of it, I was so thoroughly fucking bored with it, and I was like, I cannot wait to just... I finished it because I wanted more things to put on lists for a potential award show. That's why I plowed through a lot of shit, and I tried to just add more and more stuff. This would have absolutely been my nomination for Worst Anime of 2015. And towards the end, there's a reveal, it's like, there's a serial killer, we don't know who he is. We should probably go and figure out who that is. And at the end of it, I was like, I don't know, I would kind of want to watch the first episode of season 2, but I know it's gonna be bad. But I've got this morbid curiosity to just try. Oh,
stop doing it to yourself, David.
Through it. I know. So I'll wrap it up. 3 R's. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10. I would say probably the animation and the music were the highlights of that show. The music for it was really good. I did enjoy that. but it's just so much forced drama bullshit over nothing, repeating over and over and over again. The characters are fucking terrible. The story is terrible. Recommend it. Fuck no. Nobody deserves to go through that. I've done the research. I volunteered myself as tribute. The work has been done. Stay away from it. And when I rewatch it, absolutely fucking nuts.
Lovely.
You know what? Going back to shit we've watched this year, then about like I'm just rethinking of what I watched earlier on this year, and the thing is, probably as much as I liked it to begin with, now that I look back on it in retrospect, I'd probably give it a 1.
Oh, go ahead.
World Break Aria.
I know the name. It's just one of those.
It's the one where it's like a school for kids who have magical powers. Basically, it's
one of those.
To have the powers, you've got to basically be the reborn soul of a hero from the past. So you either have the soul of like a big powerful warrior or the soul of a mage. And this guy comes to the school thinking he's got the soul of this warrior, and turns out he's got the soul of a warrior and a mage in him. And it's just very, very tropey.
Oh, he's a special snowflake.
He's this super kawaii chocolatey coated special snowflake. He ends up, it sort of tries to play on the fact it wants to be a harem-ish anime, but it doesn't get enough, and then there's a weird lolly thing going on.
We need to address this. I don't think we formally addressed this on the podcast. They need to stop making that type of anime.
Yeah.
It's gone ridiculous. There's like 5 of them out each season.
No, it's not the fact that it's sort of it's not the fact that it's a lot. It's like actual sort of like, oh, lolly. It's a little sort of like Lolita style girl. No, this girl is like 5. She's the school head teacher's little sister,
right?
And she uses him as a body pillow.
But like seriously, I say it's an anime. It's a school for people with magical powers that fight some kind of monster, and the main character is OP in some way.
So Giant Bomb this year, as I'm sure you've listened to the podcast, Giant Bomb this year actually had a category that was just entitled Please Stop.
Yeah, please.
This will be our winner of the Please Stop Award of 2015.
That's a good one.
Stop making anime about schools filled with people with magical powers.
The Forced Esports Award they gave out was brilliant. Yeah, they gave that one because one of the runners up for that award was Forced Esports, and I just gave an hallelujah for that.
Yeah,
fucking Evolve, man. How funny is that shit? Who played Evolve?
I've only seen videos of it, and it sounds like they went, okay, well let's do Left 4 Dead, but let's do it really badly.
I think I'm playing it after this podcast, to be honest.
The game itself wasn't. I don't think the game itself was that bad. It was just so embarrassing.
No, I've got one friend who actually really likes it. He said once you get past all the day one bullshit that turned everybody off of it, it's actually a pretty good game.
I could see that.
The premise and the hype really made me sort of hopeful.
It was manufactured hype, though. It really was manufactured hype.
I mean, like, Overwatch is trying to re-hype itself now as well, with saying it's going to be...
dude, I got into the Overwatch beta. I've been craving it every day since I got booted out.
It's being re-released on PS4.
God damn, that is such a good game.
What did you get booted out for?
They just closed it. I got in for a weekend. They opened it up, not fully, but wider, I guess, for a weekend, and I got in for 2-3 days. And it was glorious. It's a really fucking good game. That game is not overhyped at all. The hype is right on track for that game.
Listen, we're going to re-release it for the consoles now as well, and throw a shit ton of Overwatch stuff in all of our other games.
Yeah, but they've already done that forever. They've already done that forever. You can get like a StarCraft thing following you around in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you can now get a baby version of the ape following you around.
Yeah. No, they've been doing that for forever. Since StarCraft 2 came out.
It's Blizzard though, so they've been going long enough where they can do whatever.
Speaking of overdone high school magic Harry Potter shows, Dave, I want to recommend you an overdone high school Harry Potter show.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's the Cavalry one.
I've watched the first 3 episodes of it. I fucking hate that show.
Really?
It's fucking garbage, man.
I was surprised by it quite pleasantly.
So many tropes.
Oh yeah, because it takes place in the genre, so it is. I mean, everything about it is a trope, but there are some really unique aspects of that show that I kind of want to talk about.
I did quite like. I won't say it's complete and utter garbage. I will say like the animation's really good. I do like that. The main character comes across like a really nice guy. I'd like to go for a beer with that guy. He seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so first, I mean, there's so many things. puts itself bang in the middle of that overused genre and then just starts poking at the edges and breaking all of the conventions of it. So the main character, like, isn't OP because he was born with a wizamajig that lets him beat everyone. He's OP because he worked his fucking ass off. And, like, you can see his training regimen is, like, 16 hours a day, every day. Yeah, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, that's new and it's different. But
going way more into the interesting stuff, that show has a bona fide, 100% legit. I'm super surprised that Japan actually understands the issue and can pull it off. Transgender character.
Yeah, oh, he's in the same dorm as the main character's sister, is he not?
Yeah.
Is it that guy? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a guy who straight up says, like, please call me Alice, like,
and refer to me as your big sister.
Yeah, I was very unlucky. I was born as a dude, but I like to think of myself as a girl. Like, it doesn't play into any of the... well, obviously, I don't think Japan is on the same kind of social justice wavelength that we're dealing with. I don't think they have the context for that stuff. So the fact that they've done this character feels actually kind of genuine. And it's kind of hard to feel that way about that kind of stuff now. Whenever I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see progressive characters in TV shows now, I automatically assume it's just cashing in on the issue and not actually trying to... Yeah, it's not actually trying to open genuine dialogues about that issue. I'm not saying this anime does that. I'm just saying that it's genuine because it's not forced.
Having friends that are going through processes like that at the minute, as you start to see it sort of appear more and more in actual like pop culture, you're just like, yeah, you're just riding the social justice warrior bandwagon here.
The thing is, that I'm not saying that anything that has transgender characters in it is forcing the issue, like taking advantage of the trend. I'm just saying that some definitely are, and it's kind of difficult to look past that possibility when going into that stuff.
I think in our old age we're just becoming more and more cynical.
It's definitely cynicism. It definitely is. But
that's 24 next week, man. I'm not that old.
So yeah, going back to the anime, it hits the issue right on the nose. It like perfectly describes how a transgender person feels without blowing the issue out of proportion or getting weird about it, and that's the best thing. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
There's one joke right at the beginning where the guy I mean, I don't actually know how to refer to him because he hasn't gone through the process or anything. The
socially acceptable thing is to refer to the pronouns as the gender that they want to be, not the gender they are.
I guess she asked the main character if he wants her in his harem, and the main character goes, "I'd rather not." That's it. That's as weird as... It's not even weird. That's like an on-the-level joke. They don't force the issue at all. She is a character in the show. She has motivations and dialogues with characters. And those dialogues and motivations are informed by her transgender identity. But they never take that issue too far in any direction. I think it's actually shockingly well handled, because when I think of progression in countries, I think of Japan as being the Dark Ages.
Yeah. Not really though, because like since samurai times, they've been
sort of... Name one anime that wasn't atrocious.
Right, okay, I'm not disputing that fact, but the fact that they have been sort of somewhat acceptable of homosexuality for quite a few centuries.
Acceptable of homosexuality. That's where we were 100 years ago.
No, we were killing people for it 100 years ago.
Okay, that was our... that's where we were... Let's say that's where we were 40 years ago.
Until the mid-60s, we were locking them up in prison.
Yeah, let's say 40 years ago. I was exaggerating there, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I can't say... I should be able to say that's where we were 100 years ago. Unfortunately, I can't.
It's like it is quite common knowledge in... like Japanese law and history that quite a few samurais did take younger boys as lovers.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that shit's been going on since the Roman times. The idea of homosexuality as a concept far outdates homophobia as a concept. That homophobia seems like a much more modern concept than homosexuality does.
I don't know why, but I'm suddenly having a flashback to Father Ted now. I hear you're a racist now, Father. and then that woman comes up and goes, as long as I can have a go at the feckin' Greeks, they invented gayness. I don't know why I had a flashback to that fucking cracking episode.
But no, like the Greeks and Romans were doing that shit way before. Yeah. Anyway,
but to get back onto the anime, I just want to make one quick point and an apology. Perhaps I was a bit rash to say the show is a steaming pile of trash or whatever. It was the female characters that I seen within that show that I was like, I've
got quite a bit more to say after the trans stuff, dude. Like, the last thing I'll say about the transgender character is that I'm not actually 100%, because it is so on the nose, I'm not actually sure if that's intentional or just a happy accident. Like, it is definitely possible that the writer of that anime just wrote his weird character the way he wanted to, completely oblivious of the issues and the right ways to go about that issue, and just managed to stumble into it by accident. That is certainly a possibility. However, it is really nice to see that character in that show.
Agreed.
It also has one of the most genuine relationships I've seen in an anime since Golden Time.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a big show.
Like, episode... I'm going to spoil it. Who fucking cares? It's one of those shows. It signed up to be on the shit list from day one.
We did sort of warn them of spoilers at the opening anyway, so...
This isn't so much the spoiler as a reason to watch the show anyway, because that show is fighting an uphill battle to get people interested.
So before you carry on, when I left that show, you're probably talking about the Sundere girl, right, with the pink hair?
Are you thinking of Asterisk Wars?
No, I'm thinking of...
the pink-haired girl is Asterisk Girls. The girl in this show is redheaded.
Oh, red pink, yeah. Sorry, my bad. The Sundere girl, anyway.
Yeah.
The one, that shower scene, that's still burnt in,
okay, so it's still an anime?
I know.
It's still an
exactly
anime.
It's
an ecchi series. There are ecchi scenes. Ecchi scenes happen in a universe where context and cause and effect don't exist. Ecchi scenes have to happen, and cause effect lines up to make that shit happen. Like, some of that, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not here to defend that. Take that as you will. I mean, I'm saying some of the stuff I said about Cross-Age, although to a much less degree. This show has a lot more of a rounded experience than Cross-Age did, and anyway.
The only thing I was going to say is when I left that show, she was kind of falling in love with him. So I assume that actually goes full circle. And they become a couple.
Episode 4 or 5, they hook up. And
really? That early on?
Yeah, very early on, which is surprising.
Okay. I'll have to give this show more props then, because I actually like it when shorter shows actually.
When they actually fucking take the plunge and don't piss about the issue for a season. And absolutely.
Because then the rest of the story
Dave.
can be about developing that relationship rather than just a
so,
build up to
there's an episode,
getting into a relationship.
I think the next episode, they have a gigantic argument because they're both too shy to make any moves on each other. And they basically just come to, they get to a point where there's like, why are we arguing? Why are we shouting at each other? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I like you too. Let's date. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It handles relationships. I mean, it's still an anime. I do have to preface everything I'm saying with it's still an anime.
I've just suddenly got that image of fucking... have you guys seen Anchorman 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
With the fucking the two special ones just there screaming at each other in the middle of the office.
Ah!
La 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 la! She is special! I want to take her into a park and stroke her!
Anchorman 2 was better than it should have been. It obviously nowhere near as good as the first film.
It's like
but it's not a bad film. It is not a bad film.
I purposely watched
the big fight at the end was fucking phenomenal.
Drake's line at the beginning was magnificent.
I just love it I watched the entire of Anchorman 2 specifically. I never even fucking fast forwarded like I should have. I watched the entire thing just to watch the fight scene with. Where did you get that gun? From the future.
It's got to... I haven't even finished it, so I might... If I finish it, I might find something else to say that's really good about it. But it does stuff in that genre that no other show in that genre is doing, and I've gone on the record before. When shows do stuff different, when shows break the boundaries and break the mold, I appreciate that a lot. And this show puts itself in what probably the most overdone genre, and then sets out to try and break as many of the stereotypes within that genre as it can. At least that's the way it feels to me. I mean, overall, I'd probably say it's a 7 because it does have some problems. It is an ecchi series, and the fight scenes aren't super great. Which for like a battle school anime, those should be better. But just for the fact that it's unique, I think Dave. I think you should go back to it.
You've convinced me. I think I will go back and watch that.
Yeah, and the main character is super likable. I actually think the majority of those characters are super likable. Oh yeah, there's an incest plot point. That's another that's another knock against it.
That's another thing we should put.
Yeah, that's another thing that they should just stop.
Well. Stop with incest stuff. Stop with incense as well. It smells horrible.
They kind of break the boundaries of that. His sister comes back from like holiday. I can't remember what it is, but she's been gone for a while. She's being super weird with him. He's not into it. And like the characters are basically just saying like, yeah, incest is fucking weird. We don't like it. Please stop doing this. except from her trans friends, who is just, I think she's a troll. I actually think she's a troll. I think she's trolling her, like egging her on, kind of, but like not sincerely.
Like personally, from experience, I do think quite a lot of trans people are massive trolls just because they get away with it just for shits and giggles. And by that, I'm referring to my experience of one of my best friends who is a massive troll. And if he's watching this, Cole, you're a shit, but I love you.
Yeah, fuck you, Cole, you big shit.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so
hit that subscribe button, motherfucker.
That show just finished because I actually realised I saw a GIF. It's something to do with cavalry. I'll find the name and link it.
Rakudashi no cavalry, I think it's called.
I saw a GIF of a scene where the dude comes in from training or something. She's on the couch and she's like, so it's been a while since we did stuff and I'm kind of like in the mood. And he just plops down on the bed and goes to sleep.
And that is Tom's rape of 2015.
That's the anti-rape. That's the inverse function of rape. Anyway, and yeah, just Hello Darkness, My Old Friend comes on.
Hello Darkness, my old friend.
And I was like, well, I mean, that seems interesting. What anime is this from? And then I read the synopsis and I'm just like, I mean, I can watch episode 1, but fuck this. And yeah, no. I'm not saying it is a great anime. Convinced. So far, I would put it as a solid 7 out of 10. But it's you tend to like those kind of shows, David.
Yep.
I'd say it is true, easily, by a massive margin, the best one of those shows I've ever seen. And that's as a 7 out of 10. So you should definitely check that out.
7 out of 10 is a great score. Well, it certainly is on my. It certainly is
for
on
me.
My
7 out of 10 is actually a pretty high score for me.
It's like people. I don't know if you guys ever come across this because I don't know how your 1 to 10 scaling rates compare to mine. Obviously, Tim starts at 7, ends at 10. But like, sorry, Tim. But bear in mind, the reason why this conversation is happening right now is because of your laptop. So fuck you.
To be fair, you can share the blame for not starting up the fucking backup at the same time.
You didn't have it.
All right, okay. I didn't have it. I just got it now, though. I am a terrible, terrible host. But what was I going to say then? Oh yeah, the scoring thing. Yeah, a lot. Like my friends sometimes do give me shit for rating things like a 5 out of 10. Like that's a bad thing. Like 5 out of 10 for me is like bang average. It doesn't do anything great, but it doesn't do anything bad.
I mean, the context of a 5 out of 10 is that it's not worth your time, though. So 5 out of 10, even though it is
6 would be more average for me. Like that would be like an acceptable.
Well, the thing is 6 is on the end of being good.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. When a show starts to become kind of good, when it becomes a 6, that's when it becomes worth recommending. So if you take the shows worth recommending and make it a 6 at the lowest, then yeah, like you can see why people rate things between 6 and 10, because anything below that they stop watching because it's not worth watching. Being a 5, it's average, boring.
I think that's why most of my shows are around the 6 to 8 region then, because I always think everything's got room for improvements, but I always try to see
the best. We're not critics. We're not like professional critics. We're not paid to watch bad shit.
But I think it might have been a 4.
Yeah, but you see, the reason why I might give a show a 5 is because it lacks in certain areas and it excels in others, and like it loses marks for the things it does wrong and it gains marks for the things it does right. So, for example, I've got a show on this, Aria the Scarlet Ammo. It's another fucking high school with people with superpowers, go figure. And it's not to a lot of people's taste. It's one of my 5 out of 10 shit harem club things, a joke I always make. But I think Ori the Scarlet Ammo is a 5 out of 10 that I would still recommend to people because whereas the story's not so great, some of the characters aren't really fleshed out, but the comedy like is what I recommend it to people.
That
Like,
makes sense.
if you like stupid dumb shit, you should definitely watch the show because it's funny.
That was one of the original kind of shows in that genre, right? That's quite a fairly old show. That's a couple of years old now, isn't it?
I'm guessing 2010.
Would you still recommend that now with that genre being driven into the ground further, until it comes out the other end of the planet?
Yeah, I still would recommend it. Absolutely.
Okay, I was just curious.
There's one I'm trying to remember. If it's on the tip of my tongue, it was one of the first ones one of my mates had got me into back when I first started doing
2011.
anime.
Right. Sorry, Tom.
And I'm just thinking about it now. It would probably be one of those one of those, like we were saying, 5 to 6 ones that I liked, but it lacked in certain areas. But it was the comedy that brought it back. And I'm trying to remember the name of it for the life of me because I remember finding the English dub of it. And the guy that does the girl that does Izzy from the original Digimon dub is the main character.
Can you describe the plot to me? Maybe I'd be able to take a guess. I forgot what's her name. A kitsune falls in love with a guy in her class, and she can possess him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was Yamada-kun or whatever it was.
No. She can possess him, and the two of them have like massive spiritual energy together and shit like that. It's sort of like the last couple of episodes sort of build into the fact there's this wider plot, but they never sort of. I don't think it's even got a second season.
Yeah.
But it was like back in the days when my mate was getting me to watch stuff on VOTV.
I have an interesting exercise for us. What is the oldest example of that genre of show we can think of that fits it perfectly? And obviously I'm not thinking... Like Angel Beats, you could make an argument for, but it isn't really that.
Yeah, they don't really have special powers or anything like that.
So it's set in a high school in a world where
Tom,
all the
I
kids...
absolutely must stop you. Very quick question. What do you think about Angel Beats now that you've watched it?
I haven't finished it. I bought
fair
it on DVD a while back. I've started to get through it. It is very good. And going back to my point,
This makes me happy.
It is covering topics that I don't expect anime to cover.
I have actually never heard of
And
someone
the dub
disliking
is
Angel
so
Beats.
fucking good.
Yeah, the dub is pretty good. That's one anime that I always say that the dub is actually pretty good.
I was so happy with that because I always, if I have the choice, I always put it into dub because if it's a good dub, good for me. If it's not, I'll watch the sub.
Another dub that I actually really liked, sorry to cut
exactly
anyone
the
off, No Game No Life. I didn't even know it had a dub, but I got the Blu-ray, and it was for some reason went to the dub by default. And yeah, I actually really like the dub.
I need to rewatch that at some
I always
point.
end up
I'll watch
watching the
that in
dub first because I'm normally, as anybody who's a regular of the show will know, I always get my anime at conventions, so when I come back I've always got a model kit or something to build as well. So I'll stick the dub up.
So you'd like that as background?
He's got his
Basically, it's basically I watched the entire of Soul Eater within like 2 days whilst building Gundams, and discovered how
I've done
discovered how terrible the dub was. Like Stein in the English is just not.
I just had a kind of weird Skynet moment. So Cassie was talking about No Game No Life, buying it on Blu-ray or whatever you bought it on.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I might do that. I go to Amazon, new for you, Naruto The Last, No Game No Life. Literally the second thing on there is No Game No Life.
Amazon is listening to you people. Wake up, America.
The only complaints I really had about it...
44 quid.
Yeah, the one I got was kind of
That's
expensive
what's
too. Is that Shiro's voice I thought was kind of really monotone, but it's probably the same in Japanese, really.
I would
it
say
sounds
so.
weirder in English, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's in character.
I'm gonna have a look at this behind the voice actor to see actually who is.
Did you do an episode on Angel Beats?
Yeah, we did.
Right, I'll actually have to.
I think it
listen
was
to
me,
that.
David, Nate. I think.
Yeah.
Let's have a look who his English voice actor is. Because if it's Todd Harbaugh, it's just no fucking surprise. Is that Shiro you're on about? Or let's have a look.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Caitlin?
Sora?
Sora's the boy.
Yeah, Shiro's the girl. That's.
Oh, right. Okay.
Let's have a look. So what's she been in
So
English
season
wise?
2 when?
Don't. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Like...
The girl that's done Shiro hasn't actually been in that much. I think the only other big roles she's done is Bodacious Space Pirates and Maria Hollick.
Excuse me, Bodacious Space Pirates. Is that an anime or a porn?
It may as well be both.
I think
Right,
Sora's
okay.
voice actor was pretty prominent. I recognized it anyway.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
If that is, like I said, if that isn't Todd Harboken or one of the big
Did
ones.
they just straight up use the same translations for the Shiratori game that the sub used? Or did they try and make better ones? You know the game, you know the game, Cassie, where they have to like match words back to back with the same letters?
Yeah.
They really had to do some stretches to make that fit in the sub.
Like, I had this on as background, and I can't remember exactly what they did for all of that. Because I was, like, house cleaning or something.
Oh, that's the hypest moment in the entire show, though. That's my
and
favorite
I'm pretty
scene.
sure they did it well, but
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, no, the sub, because obviously it's a single word game, and some of the translations they had to use to make it the meaning fit, and the actual... See, it would have been better if we just, like... Obviously they can't do it for the dub, but for the sub, if they just told us what they said instead of trying to make it fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would have been totally fine with that.
I accept the fact that you can't translate something in Japanese into English and have it match up the same way. I'd rather just see exactly what they said.
It looks like practically everybody in this show, though, has either only done about 3 or 4 and really hasn't had a career that's been started since before 2006.
I don't know. I normally hate dubs, but I thought the No Game No Life one was pretty good.
Speaking of dubs, Tom, have you heard the Fate Stay Night dub yet?
I've rewatched some of the scenes in the dub. It's okay.
I agree.
Well, okay, so I think they're using the same voice actor for Shira that there was in the original Fate Stay Night, the Dean one. And I think they probably got as good a performance out of that voice actor as they could possibly get. No, like, Fate Stay Night was not the institution it is now when that anime came out and when they cast that actor. And, like, I can't knock him. He's been put into shoes way too big for him to fill. And I think he's done fine. It's a shame that it's not a better voice actor, but I understand why they would want to keep the originals. They didn't keep the original Saber though. They used the Zero Saber, didn't they?
Carrie Walgreen?
Yeah, same voice actress as Celty, who's excellent.
I quite like her.
She's excellent as Saber. And
I've got to say,
Celty.
my 2 stand-up performances in that was Casta. I forget the girl's name, but she played the white-haired girl in Code Geass. That doesn't narrow it down that much. I think she's black as well, or at least half-caste, I think. I can't remember her name. She was great anyway.
Sure.
And fucking Todd Habercorn playing Assassin. Oh my god, that voice is so perfect for Assassin. It's great.
Let's just be fair though, Todd Harboken is in fucking everything.
Because he's a really good voice actor.
Going from the likes of him doing fucking Alan Walker in bloody D Grey Man all the way through to likes of is it Kaoru or Hikaru that he does in Oren? It's one of the twins anyway.
Wouldn't it be both of the twins?
No, they've actually got different voice actors.
Well, that makes sense.
One thing I will say though is a lot of people really don't like Gilgamesh's voice actor.
I don't. I can't
understand that, but I love the way that voice fits that character. I feel like Gilgamesh is the kind of person who would talk like he is being voiced by a bad voice actor, though. You know what I mean?
That kind of makes sense. That does kind of make sense.
I just think aesthetically it really fits his personality. I actually think it is a perfect voice for that guy. I think he should sound like a piece of shit.
This is the 2006 Fate Stay, isn't it?
No. It's Unlimited Blade Works 2015.
Oh, okay.
Because the guy that voices Gilgamesh sounds like a gormless, smug twat, and that's what Gilgamesh is.
I don't know about Gormless.
Oh, he is. No, he is gormless.
Let's have a look.
No, come on, dude. He really is. Like, he is definitely...
He's pompous, at least.
Brawn over brains. Like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He is scheming and evil, and he wants to, like, fuck shit up when it comes to people's plans, but he is not exactly a genius. Like... You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you remember the first night that they fight in Aldnoah Zero? The one with...
Oh, was that the one that they swung the fucking crane
No,
into?
that's the one that they dropped the bridge with, and they dropped him into the river.
Oh, the big purple
He does him in the English dub of Aldnoah Zero.
Yeah, that was
Remember in Aldnoah Zero where that was a really cool idea and then they used it a bunch of times?
He's actually he's the same guy that does Gilgamesh in 2013 Fate Zero as well.
Yeah, he is. He's the same guy. As far as I know, they did keep as many as the Zero cast as they could. I mean, the Tosaka voice actress is the same from the original Dean one, right?
Yeah, she is,
and she was the same in Fate Zero. Yeah,
well.
Yeah. She's okay. I have no complaints
Tom,
with her.
you had an exercise for us, I believe.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Let's see.
That was my fault. That was my tangent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if we can figure out what the earliest incarnation of that genre we can think of that we watched.
So the high school harem.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't say harem is quintessential. What I would say is OP male protagonist in a battle magic school setting. I'm not sure if I'd say fighting against monsters, but I would definitely say that there is a principal female counterpart, and then usually a cast of other female characters.
I've got 2 shows from 2011. I'm not sure if Infinite Stratos counts, but
no, I don't think so either.
All right, in that case, Ori the Scarlet Ammo. Not everybody has a superpower in it, but there's some people with supernatural powers.
Is the main character OP?
When the main character gets turned on, he turns into this thing. He becomes James Bond, basically. That's a good superpower.
So he becomes old.
Index definitely counts.
Yeah, that's 2000.
Index. Oh.
Yeah, that's old.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, yeah, you can fit it in.
That he can neutralize anybody's power.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I wouldn't say the main character of Index is OP though.
Wow, that was 2000.
He has to work his ass off to beat some of the characters. But Accelerator kicks the ever-living shit out of him.
Yeah, but the fact that his power can mitigate anyone else's power, though.
I mean, I get you, but I feel like if to qualify. He would
physically. He might not be OP, but just the premise of his power alone.
I mean, I guess I would say yes. You're on the right tracks with Index. I'm not going to say it's a perfect fit though.
How about Code Geass? Because Lelouch's got a power.
No, because that's not a Magic High School. The Magic Battles part is pretty key to the formula.
Okay.
And usually a weapon of some sort, like a weapons system. They summon weapons.
Shakugan no Shana. Actually, no.
No. I mean, Army with the Scarlet Ammo, does that fit really well? Because that could be it.
Yeah. The main character is pretty overpowered. I'm not sure if it'd be the first one. Obviously, a certain magical index is. Sorry, it was written in 2004. The first anime came out in 2008. So I think that's our winner so far. But as you said, then the main character's not really.
Yeah, see, because the thing is 90%, easily 90% of anime takes place in a high school. Another large percentage of that has powers in it. So you have to be careful that you don't try and fit something that isn't part of that genre into the genre. You know what I mean? Because it really is a very defined set of rules to that genre, isn't it?
I'm not entirely certain if Aria the Scarlet Ammo would fit in there, because not everybody in the school is not dedicated
because I would say that
to...
It has to be a Hogwarts setting. It is a school for people who have that power.
Nice.
Yeah, that I'd say that definitely is part of the formula.
You know, as much as that is one of my favourite genres, I actually own very little of it. I've taken a walk over to the DVD shelf just to have a look.
Tokyo Ravens in 2013. Sure, it's got to go back earlier than that.
Yeah, I think that is a good... Oh, but the main character's not OP though, is he?
He's not OP, no. I would know.
Okay, so I'd like to open this up to any listeners. I'm really curious to see if we can pinpoint the cause of this infection. That is just something I'd like to do.
And then go back in time and remove it.
If we can, Life is Strange.
We need a photograph of the dude who wrote this anime, and then I will use my powers. You send it to me. I will use my powers. I'll go back in time, slap him, and just go, don't even fucking think about it. And then, strongest Scouse accent, like a mustache. What are you doing?
And then a tornado destroys Liverpool.
What are you doing, lads? Don't fucking start.
Lad? The guy's just Japanese dude's just huh?
Watashi
How did he get in the building?
Fuck off, desk.
Cunt. Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, so
I'm even trying to think of
just
games that have evolved into animes as well. Just trying to think of that because I'm thinking
I mean, okay,
Valkyria Chronicles, but even then, it's not really superpowers. That's more just them using like tanks and shit with
the
war.
way Naruto starts is obviously the main character is not OP, but the way Naruto starts is definitely kind of a prototype of that genre.
Naruto, I'd be okay with that.
If you want to go for that, then you could realistically say that the entire genre sort of stemmed from the like the Super Sentai and stuff like that.
I've got another question for you. If you had this magical time traveling power that we're theorizing here,
to go back in time and say "fuck off" with Ashiwa Des to anyone.
If you could stop any one anime from being created, what
I've got
would
my
it
answer. I would stop the final 3 episodes of Ori-Emo from happening. And then just leave it as it is there. Just end it there. And then that would be a good show.
I'm half tempted to go with Sword Art Online. Because I really don't like the Sword Art Online fans.
Oh, the fans, yeah. I'm with you there.
They're pretty
like the
obnoxious.
show itself is not... It's not that offensive. It's actually kind of...
The Sword... It literally is the fan base. They literally came from nowhere because there wasn't anything that big to draw fans into anime beforehand, and then suddenly Sword Art.
Yeah. Actually, I think Sword Art Online might be one of the worst offenders for triggering this trend of OP protagonists.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't like Sword Art. Like, I liked the first half of the first season. I was kind of into it, and I kept watching it, and like that main character is the most unlikable piece of shit.
Should we take this perfect segue from OP main characters and talk about One Punch Man a little bit?
Yeah,
Wait,
sure.
can I just finish before we go into One Punch Man then?
Yeah.
A friend of mine and I were both discussing about Bridge series because we're both LARPers and we're both basically taking anything that Kirito says from the Abridged season and turning it into one super massive arse of a character. And we've discovered a formula that the darker the subject an anime can be, the funnier the Abridged season would be.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking, other than the ones that have already been abridged as it is, what would be the funniest season to try and abridge? Because we're thinking another would be quite funny to abridge.
Nah, that's. I mean, I've already had an attempt at that. It wasn't
Tokyo
exactly
Ghoul.
an abridged series, but
I was actually just thinking of that.
Tokyo Ghoul's a joke to begin with. It writes itself.
No, but that's what I mean. No, but
Anything that's super try-hard and edgy, it just makes it like
I've
Terraformers,
actually
maybe.
been following the manga as it's released, and I
Terraformers,
actually kind of like the
dope.
manga. I don't know, it's better than the anime. The anime was trash.
Terraformers or...
I don't want no, Tokyo Ghoul.
We didn't get to it on the list, but Terraformers Season 2 is starting.
I was talking about this yesterday.
Comedy of the Year 2016. It's already been nominated.
I'm already upset.
Yeah, we did do that, didn't we?
what anime abroad does Terraformers Abridged season 2?
we just skipped Season 1.
No, you have to watch Season 1.
I mean, Season 1 has Adolf in it, so...
Oh, God.
God,
what a
it
piece
writes
of
itself.
Shit. I'm mad again.
Just to answer your question really quickly, Tim, I'd probably say Black Lagoon. I think that'd be a good laugh to have to see a bridge.
Actually, from what I've seen of Black Lagoon, that would be hilarious.
Maybe.
You should finish that show. It's fucking brilliant.
Maybe.
Oh, and by the way, to our listeners as well, I want to know if you could go back in time and stop any one anime from being created, what would it be and why?
Well, I'll extend that to say a moment in an anime as well, because...
I'd say the entire of Negima, because fuck the English voices for the anime. Like
the last episode of Clannad. I'm going to put that in there.
Oh, Clannad!
How about the second season of Death Note?
How about Death Note?
Oh, come on, Tim. You can't really be that try-hard, can you?
Oh, has he not told you the reason why he hates Death Note?
Go on, Tim.
No, not again.
I can't even remember. It's been
It's the
that long.
cosplayers, isn't it?
He hates cosplayers
yeah.
who dress as L.
You had like a huge rant about that once.
Oh, you fucking done it now, Cassie. He's having Vietnam flashbacks.
You were so mad about the L
Hey, man,
cosplayers.
just wait until you get the One Punch Man cosplayers.
One Punch Man, I don't give a shit. It's the people that wear fucking a white top,
There we go.
jeans, a shitty black wig, eyeliner, and walk around with a fucking phone hanging against the side of their head. That sort of just sit there, feet first on fucking chairs. The only time I've seen...
Like he disgusted bastard. Put some
The only
socks on.
time I've seen less effort put into a cosplay is when somebody literally almost did the spy from TF2, but wore a black suit and the face of an anime character on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Even the people who tried to make Goku wigs out of fucking paper have more effort put in.
Yeah. Okay,
Right,
so
let's go on to One Punch Man and wrap this show up.
okay. So if we're wrapping the show up, should we talk about One Punch Man? Because I think I'm the only person who's finished it, or should me and Cassie have a chat about Rocker no Yusha?
I watched that as well, so I could jump in.
Oh, did you watch all of
Yeah,
it?
he did.
I finished it, yeah.
Do you think there's enough material there to do its own episode on? Because I think there might be.
I would want to go
think
back
Cassie-
and write down
yeah.
some things because I haven't watched it in a while now. So,
Yeah.
I would like to... I want to download the Blu-ray and I want to see how well they've touched up the
To
animation.
spoil one of the R's, I would actually be quite okay rewatching that.
Yeah, I would. I'm going
Is,
to. In fact.
is there a dub out?
I don't think so. It did not sell very well whatsoever.
Oh, it did
which
not?
I thought
I
was
was surprised
strange.
because I thought that one was going to do well. It was the only one I watched this
I
season.
thought it was a good show.
Yeah.
I honestly did think it was a good show.
Yeah,
But
I
obviously
agree with that. I agree with that. There's definitely some fuck off moments in that show.
Yeah.
No, okay. So should we do an episode for that?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
I'd be
Okay,
okay with that.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that show for half an hour. Okay,
Actually,
so
if
One
I
Punch Man.
rewatch it, I can go and get more screen caps so you can put them up on the podcast.
Cassie,
you watch the
we're going to walk into
The most
Cassie's
quality
room after
man
she
in the world.
disappears.
All right, Cassie. Here's what we'll do for this. You watch the original broadcast. You print screen things and you write down a timestamp. I will watch the Blu-rays of it and I will take print screens and we'll compare notes and see if they've actually managed to touch up the
Okay, then
animation.
we're not going to be doing this next weekend, I assume, because I've got a bunch of shit downloading.
Let's
for,
slate
stuff.
this in. Let's slate
Yeah.
this in. Okay. So
But yeah, that's what I'd definitely be willing to do, because I actually got really hyped about that.
yeah, because of the 8-month hiatus, I think our kind of schedule for shows to cover has been reset. We could say if we just pen that in as number one, because we were talking about that show every week.
Yeah.
After every episode, we were talking about that show. So yeah,
Like Cassie even wrote an entire fucking conspiracy theory about it after 3 episodes.
oh, you were so wrong.
I had another one at like episode 7 as well. Which was actually right about the thing that was obvious, but
David,
still
I'm not
mad.
actually sure. I'm not actually sure if I got your opinion on this, but Flammy is the best girl, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So we're in
Absolutely.
consensus there. Because Cassie,
And Hans is best boy.
yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
we all agree on that.
Okay, good.
I
Okay,
can't
good.
believe it. We're not arguing about it.
I think this will make a pretty good episode. Okay, so
I don't care,
I'll-
even though I've never watched it. I think the opposite of everything you say. Argue,
Fuck you,
argue,
Tim.
argue.
You lose the last episode, now you're talking shit about my wife.
Hey, would you like me to set my waifu onto you?
Who's your waifu?
I'll give you a clue. Yuki.
What, you know? Are you messing?
I practically live with her.
I'm not even going to get into that. Tom, what were you going to say?
So One Punch Man was super good.
Right.
Yes.
Tell me.
I mean,
Thank you for
okay,
listening to
so
the Bro podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
we might as well get it out of the way. Yeah, I might as well get One Punch Man out of the way here, because as far as I know, amongst the crew, I'm actually the only person who's finished it.
I think Time might have. I won't ask
Maybe.
you, though.
It definitely seems like the type
The
of
only
show
other
he
person I
would.
can think of who might have watched it would be Ravi, and I don't think he
I
watched a
don't
whole lot
think
of anime.
he has. I don't think he's watched it. One of the best shows from 2015, it would be in my top 3. If I had to sketch it out, it would probably be Soma, One Punch Man, and then Death Parade for me.
Actually, let's just do a quick ones round the table now. What were your top 3 favourite anime of 2015?
Well, weren't
I
we,
didn't
weren't we
even
going to
watch
say?
the
Weren't we going to say we'll do that when we hit next time?
Okay, so Man and Cassie's top 3 of 2015 were... no, I'm joking. Go on, carry on, Tom.
Yeah. So
It's Fate's Day Night.
That just scared the shit out of me. I was looking at something else, and suddenly I didn't even realise he was leaning down towards the mic and it's suddenly, it's hurting up.
the fact that the year a UFO Table Fate series came out and it didn't get the best fight scene of the year. The fact that happens is incredible. That it really is incredible.
I don't know why I'm shaking my head, because I haven't seen One Punch Man. Like, I'd still... I don't know.
I mean, okay, so One Punch Man is a world that spoilers don't exist in. He wins. That's the concept. So I might link you some of the shit.
The fact that his
from One Punch
his
Man.
special attack is consecutive normal punches.
Yeah, okay, so the 2 attacks he's used so far is consecutive normal punches and killer moves, serious series, serious punch.
Okay, so we're looking at a basic jab and then a multiple jab.
I mean, the multiple jabs is a little bit flashier than it sounds because for him, consecutive punches is basically a typhoon.
Yeah. It's Gum Gum Rocket. Gum Gum Typhoon.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the entire screen is filled up with fists and like this spaghetti nonsense.
Yeah, I love the first time he uses it and that lion thing just blows up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it has a very simple concept. The idea of One Punch Man is that it is a satire of battle shonen.
And the concept just is he wins.
Yeah. Like, that's the concept. He beats everything with one punch. They do concede...
It's a little difficult to follow.
They do concede... And the biggest spoiler for the show I can give is that there is an enemy he fights in the series that doesn't go down in one punch. That's...
What a tweet!
I mean, that is the biggest spoiler I can give for that series, because that series is just paper thin in terms of what it is. It's all about execution and comedy and satire. It's like...
I think that the funniest comedy moments in it are literally when he's just like, he's trying to live a normal life and then something from like the superhero battle realm comes in and interferes with it entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, so they definitely make concessions to the idea he can beat anything in one punch to actually add suspense and excitement to the show, because...
Technically then there's two things he can't beat in one punch because there's the mosquito.
There is the mosquito, but technically did he hit the mosquito?
He beats the living shit out of it when it's on his balcony.
I think that's a joke, is that the mosquito's just too slippery. God, that... Holy shit, that fucks up his power level so hard.
It's like, douche, 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 douche.
People that love being super fucking lame on the internet, like, who would win, Saitama and Goku, or Saitama and Superman?
Goku would kill the shit out of One Punch Man, don't even start.
He beats everything in one punch, dude. It's...
And that's why Goku would fly up into the air and then Kamehameha him. It's that simple.
The best thing about One Punch Man to me is the fact that the people who get super butthurts about those arguments are going to get trolled so fucking hard by One Punch Man fans who just go, he wins in one punch. What are you on about? Superman can lift a really heavy book. Yeah, but he wins in one punch. That's... It's in the title.
It's
Come on.
in the title.
I can't... Yeah, the tears of butthurt will flow.
We could even make our own low-fat spread range. I can't believe it's not One Punch.
It is really, really good. And obviously it's been overhyped.
Yeah, that's...
Obviously it's been overhyped. It came onto IMDb higher than Breaking Bad at number 1. Yeah, It might be the best anime this year. It ain't that. It ain't that good, though. Like, don't get me wrong. It's definitely been overhyped. Don't let that ruin it for you, though. Because... it is really good. I would argue probably better than Attack on Titan, which was the last thing that got stupid overhyped.
Shit, it was, wasn't it?
Me and you were talking about, Tom, as well. That, like, in 3 consecutive years, we've had 3 consecutive big hits now. Somehow managed to get, like, sort of get into the mainstream eye. So there was Sword Art Online, Attack on Titan, and then One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm missing a year here, aren't I?
Yeah, you're missing last year.
The thing is with One Punch Man is it's such a universal concept because that satire exists to our pop culture as well as Japan's. You know, like, One Punch Man is as much a satire of Superman as he is of Goku. You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to think of what last year's massive animes were then that could have possibly got us into the media. I don't
really think there was one from last year. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about the scale of... If you're talking about... from last year, yeah.
I'm thinking about...
from 2014.
No, not really.
I'll have a look
not really. It was... One Punch Man and Attack on Titan have been way bigger than most other things.
Breaking news, Ty has actually finished One Punch Man.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, sucks to be him.
No, I heavily recommend it. It's really good. The characters are brilliant. There's the cute cyborg is fantastic.
That everyone seems to love him.
Oh, he's so adorable because, like, he's super OP and badass, but he's so pathetic one compared to Saitama that it's like...
I see a lot of pictures of him that say sensei, 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 sensei.
Yeah, it's literally that. There is the one point when he gets smacked through a wall and Saitama's just there going, what did you do? You turned him into modern art.
Yeah.
Okay, so for 2014, I'm very sorry to cut in again. Tokyo Ghoul kind of had some of that success.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, obviously, I'd say it ranks at the bottom of those 3.
I was going to say, it had the hype within the community, but I don't think it reached out to sort of get towards mainstream.
It did. It was very popular. If you look at, like, the OP on YouTube, it has, like, 100 million views.
Oh, that's right. It has, like, yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
I remember the first
By
time.
the way, the OP for Tokyo Ghoul, Link Tosei Tsugo's lead singer, get on that band.
I was going to say, I remember the point when you guys got me to watch the opening and I thought it was going to be a yaoi manga. Or a yori, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, the song's really good, but what the fuck's up with the opening?
So Dave, One Punch Man is just fun for the whole family. It's so inoffensive and simple in its concept, and it executes on its concept so well. And it looks so good, and the soundtrack's great, the OP's great. It kind of just ticks every single box. And while people will want to hate it because it is overhyped, the fact that it's overhyped isn't its fault. Let's be honest, this series has the most humble beginnings of any anime in history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that he's
a reason why a show is hyped in the first place. It's because it's good at something.
Yeah. Like the fact that he's a hero for fun is a reflection of the fact that the manga artist, the original webtoon guy, just did it for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? Like this is basically, it started off as a sketch and a notepad. You know, little more than that. So it really,
The original webcomic was actually so we could get practice using a certain type of manga drawing software.
Yeah. So wrap that up by saying it's good. It's one of the best anime of the year for sure. And
10 out of 10 recommend and rewatch.
All I would say is please go gentle on it. Unlike Sword Art Online has horrible fans, but it's not good, so it's not worth defending. One Punch Man does not deserve the fans it has. Do not judge it because of its fans. It is an excellent anime in its own right. Don't be a contrarian and hate it because it's popular.
I think its pacing's perfect as well, though. I like the way it's short, little story arcs.
Yeah.
Like, at least to begin with, I'm not really...
Well, you can't have a long story arc in One Punch Man because he beats everything in one punch.
I like the fact that like the story arcs are such a just like...
Hey, if Goku can take 5 fucking episodes to charge a spirit bomb, One Punch Man can take 5 episodes to charge
I've actually heard quite a funny theory about that, the way that like 12 minutes took, so 20 minutes took like 12 episodes or something stupid like that. Because it was going that fast that the creators slowed it down for us so our human eyes could see it. It's the only logical...
Hunter x Hunter does something like that.
It's the only logical conclusion.
Hunter x Hunter, there's a scene in Hunter x Hunter where so much stuff happens in a single instant that it happens, a narrator comes in and actually goes through each instance one by one and how this kind of chain reaction of events plays out in 5 seconds. It actually works out really cool.
So just like a little guy comes on with like a little click button, it's like, and this is how this happened.
I mean, almost, because things are happening so quick and the characters are making split-second decisions. He's like justifying each of the characters' decisions in that moment. The narrator is. It's quite cool, actually. It only happens once as well.
It's like, and he does it for this, and he does it for this, and he does it for this, and Killer is just a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, so I guess I'm done with One Punch Man. The last thing I will say is the manga artist did a really funny little joke panel about why he made Saitama look super badass in the manga. Was because Jonas came over to his office with a stack of paper, like 1,000 pieces of paper, and dictated to him exactly how cool he was. I'll link that for you if I can find it. But it's so cute. Like that character of Jonas, like that's it plays into the satire. Like he is so fucking OP in his own right. Yeah, he's a fucking child compared to the main character. Like the main character just undermines everything about Battle Shonen in the most beautiful way.
Like from all the episodes I've seen so far, my favourite one is still the one he's fighting that giant murder beetle, and he's just like he'll go on a rampage for the next 7 days. He won't stop until Sunday. Wait, he's getting he's like getting smacked all over this room by this giant beetle. He's like Sunday. Wait. That's 7 days from now. But the sale, it's, and he realises he's the day of the sales happened when he thought it was supposed to be tomorrow, and that's when he punches the beetle and blows him off.
Alright then, are we calling that a wrap then?
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
That's not too bad. Could we call that a full episode? This is an hour and a half. I think.
Yeah, we'll make this.
Yeah, fuck it. Slap the stamp of approval on. Let's go.
So
we did it.
Wait.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you haven't lost episode 23.
I was going to say, yeah, postscript addict.
Should we wrap this one up?
Aye.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Anime Abroad podcast. If you want to listen to more of these things, just hit the subscribe button. You can like our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/Anime Abroad podcast. Or is it just Anime Abroad? Probably just Anime Abroad. You can follow us
just
on
Anime
Twitter
We'll
just
have
Anime Abroad.
links in the doobly-doo.
Yeah, and you can follow us on Twitter at Anime Abroad. You can follow all of us individually on Twitter. All of those links will be in the description below. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Anime Abroad podcast. My name is David. Thank you for listening. You've been joined by Tom.
Hiya.
You've been joined by
twat.
Tim.
Yeah.
You are. And you've been joined by Cassie. And we'll catch you next time, guys. See you later.